What's up, everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre. And last time, we were in for quite a surprise in which, spoiler alert, well, Sandalwood's old friend, who was thought long dead, reappeared, replaced the people who we were going to face in the right, and faced us instead. And, well, you know, he was kind of seeking to exact revenge and hated us and claimed to be the actual Nightwings and called us imposters and all that. So, yeah, things have taken a little bit of a turn here. Not totally sure what to expect from him going forward, seeing as how he is still at large and may or may not have technically taken our place as the Nightwing Triumvirate. Alright, but let's see what Tizo has to make of all this. Tizo seems despondent following the confrontation with Orlek. So, Tizo is filled with mixed emotions at having seen Orlek again. Right, because Tizo is old enough that he remembers Orlek. Like Volfred, he thought for sure that Orlek had perished long ago. We don't know exactly how long. Tizo is angry that Orlek acted so unfriendly with everyone. Yeah, he was very confrontational, very accusatory. Then the little imp looks at you with sadness in his eyes, but says no more. He skitters up into the rafters. What is this? Xylophones! That's good. Would that we all could become musical instruments ere our bones turn to dust. Suppose that is. Oh, what? Play them! If I had any musical ability whatsoever, I would probably take this opportunity to play a song on the xylophones, but I don't, so I can't. And this makes me sad. Okay. It does look like we have other new stuff in the common room? Oh, Tizo's nest. Various scraps and things laced together with bits of ribbon and fabric, topped off with a plush fish. I think we've actually seen that, although that's probably been there for quite some time, seeing as how Tizo is not necessarily a new member of the party. Looks like we have a page in the Book of Rites, and we have other stuff flowing from the common room. Okay, Bertrude's biography. Let's give that a quick read. So, she's a bog dweller once feared and respected in the Commonwealth for her sorceress work. In the rites, she has the blast, which fires her aura in a wedge-shaped pattern. Yeah, she has a really large aura cast, so she can attack opponents more easily. Pounce launches forward across great distances. And that's... oh yeah, so that's technically her... instead of a jump, she has a pounce. Then slither is for sprint. But with less control. Huh. Notice that. Interesting. She's a crone. Is the bog-dwelling serpentine creatures known for their bluntness, stubbornness, and wisdom. Either the Commonwealth tolerated the crones of the southern bogs, or the other way around. She's an alchemist. The Commonwealth tolerated the bog-dwellers desiring the product of their sorceress trade. Bog-dwellers on the outskirts of the Commonwealth performed profane experiments with little supervision. Astral sign? Hisser? Hisker? I don't know if that's a hard C or a soft C. I hope it's a hard C. She was born on the 22nd of second moon, suggesting she is introspective and thoughtful. Conspiracy is how she got sent in. She was accomplice to an illegal stamp pressing operation, providing inks and other materials. Its mercy guides our hand. We spare your lives, but rid ourselves of it. So, yeah, she was part of this conspiracy to basically make books, which is illegal, and may have been, at least in some way, shape, or form, the way that many of our comrades have been exiled. Well, probably Sandalwood, but I'm not sure how many others, because Because the others can't read. What makes us special? Alleged motive, insurrection. Records state she demonstrated a willful disregard for Commonwealth doctrine. The downside, one's past tends not to be subject for discussion, but she did tell us a little bit about this. She's been exiled for 21 years, which I think is even longer than Jodario. Forget if we did confirm what the duration of that was. I want to say she'd been in the downside for 10 years, so 21 is a long time. If you needed someone cursed, or guarantees of fortune on a big day, or to consort with elder patrons such as Ophim Unburied, Marsus Needle Eyes, died repenting and did not linger in his grave for very long at all. Huh. Marsus Needle Eyes is widely held that nothing beneath the heavens is beneath his notice. He would go to Big Bertrude. She was one of the most infamous alchemists of her day, and plied her trade right under the Commonwealth's nose without regard. Ironically, it was a modest-sounding request for printing inks that ultimately got her into trouble, resulting in her exile. In the downside, her reputation preceded her, and she resumed her practice. I mean, I guess once you're in the dark side, downside, there's nowhere to go but up, so why not take those risks? Book of Rites. Looks like we have a new page or two. Cairn of Haoub. How ironic. The shattered remnants of the Bone Titan Shaq's 6 shoulders, that is a tongue twister if ever there was one, which once stood vigilant over the archway into flagging hands, remain now as forbidding as when that horrid monster still possessed unnatural life. After little Haoub dispatched the Bone Titan in a feat of ingenuity, Jax's pieces fell onto the valley floor, forming a set of standing stones, which Haoub marked. Further, traces of the Titan's glacial blood coagulated into perfect frozen drops, which still shimmer in the darkness. 6 shoulders seemed to start reanimating, when the stars above him danced certainly. Paint the sigil then, in the shining light. We have more. The Nightwings. Ah, okay. I don't know, are we the real Nightwings, or is Orlek and his team actually the real Nightwings? What is a life without an adversary? Not for forces that conspire against the will, life... If not for forces that conspire against the will, life would be devoid of its innateness, the desire to overcome. Thus, when we, the Eight, at last each fashioned a triumvirate based on our own ideals, we realized a void still needed to be filled, as the night sky needs moonlight. We 8 were united. Our triumvirates shared our affection. They needed us to set them all against a common foe. Thus did we form the Nightwings, triumvirate envisioned to exceed them all, both through means of mortal and divine, and given undue favor in each turning of the cycle. They are the adversary we all face. So we are destined to be the ones that everyone else hates. Okay. I mean, can't say I really blame them if we are always guaranteed to participate in the liberation rites when everyone else needs to fight their way to the top. Let's take a look at Volfred's planner, because I was curious, since I mean, we are still at the top, but I didn't know if the other Nightwings, I don't know if they're technically the old Nightwings or the new Nightwings, but Orlek's Nightwings. I'm not sure if, I guess I'm surprised not to see him here. I was half expecting him to show up and be like, oh yeah, well actually, we're the real Nightwings, so that means we're guaranteed to participate in the Liberation Rite, not you, so, get in line. And could be, that could still be the case. He might have another trick or two up his sleeve. For now, I'm remembering after having just talked to Tizo, that we have yet to do his scribe trial, or at least yet to do it successfully, which has been something that we've been waiting to do for a long time. And I'm not sure we've necessarily gotten much in the way of upgrades for him. I don't think he's ranked up since then, but we might have good talismans that we might not have had before, or at very least, the ability to at least give it another shot, thinking of more strategies for ways in which we can mix things up a little bit and hopefully have more success this time around. Oh, that can be arranged. You need but name for me the one that you have in mind. I believe Tizo is... yeah, everyone's either approved or, in the case of Bertrude, not yet eligible. Tizo, see what we can get you in terms of a talisman. Wonder... obviously, you would not get the additional bonus of having someone else on the team using the other talisman, but this does still seem like it could be your best option. Let's give that a shot. Good, for I'd long to show that imp more of his many failings. Oh. Do you remember that we were not so successful the first time we tried doing this? Imps such as Tizo can banish several adversaries at once with their aura implosion. But it does make us, well, disappear. Well, disappear. Get banished when we do that. Which is, one of the issues that we had last time. Yeah, like that. I didn't want to implode on him, because I was worried that we would, well, not be able to actually... Oh. Nope! Uh-oh. We would not be able to get back in time. Take that. Okay, that I mostly just saw as an opportunity to hop in there. No! So close! Oh, I'm not sure we're gonna be fast enough. And that got none of them? Okay, that was a misplay on my part. And we probably still could have rescued that one. I mean, we got off to a good start, in all honesty. There we go. Still decent. Might be better than we've ever done with any of the other ones last time around, so I'll take it. I will definitely take it. I think the key is just we gotta be more aggressive with the jumps. I think it was the missing piece last time. There we go. That simple. Wasn't so bad, was it? Makes you wonder what we did last time. Hee. Tizo is excited to have completed Sandra's challenge and waits her approval. A worthwhile effort, Imp. Your performance was sufficient. You passed my test. Your predecessor may well have approved. Your predecessor? Oh, you mean the scribe. The Haul. The imp scribe. Thus, congratulations are in order to you and to your lovely leader. Now farewell. The Commonwealth of Sar is a proud country risen from the ashes of a fallen empire and home to a multitude of something. Whee! Tizo is happy to be back and wonders what is that Sandra, or what it is that Sandra granted you. There we go. You take a closer look at the new artifact in your possession. You received Haul's Wing for completing Tizo's trial. Rank 7 legendary talisman, Tizo's Flutter and Zip abilities cost less stamina than usual, minus 35% stamina. That sounds pretty sweet. I mean, with that, Tizo's Flutter ability, it's not like Tamitha's Fly, where she is pretty speedy when she does it. Tizo is definitely slower. However, if you were to be able to use this talisman and have your stamina get spent less quickly, then it might be more of a fly, in that you can legitimately traverse the majority of the arena rather than just a flutter. So that's intriguing. And the zip too, of course, also helpful. So of course, we shall accept the reward. And let's throw it on. And I think we had this on Sir Gilman before. Okay. Nice. I wasn't sure how easy or difficult we would find that one with another shot at it, because, I mean, it took us... I think we tried it 2, maybe even 3 times in the past, and we were not successful. So I'm glad we pulled it off. Right, and we are off to the Fall of Solium. The next liberation rite, and I'm not sure who is going to be eligible for this liberation rite. That's something that we ought to bear in mind, is who we might want to give the chance at their freedom. Because we did Jodariel, we did Hedwyn, 2 of the original 3 that found us. Ruki would of course be the last of that group, but Ruki is really good, so to pass up, or to no longer have him available for rights in the downside, would hurt. It would definitely hurt. So are we willing to make that sacrifice? Okay, so what do we have as our options? Emperor's Ascent, a gap through the nameless lower summits beneath Mount Elodium. Says Sir Gilman shall gain favor with scribes if you land here. Okay. Whereas if we go here, a pathway on the outskirts of Mount Elodium's nameless lower summits says shall gain favor from the scribes if you land here. I mean, if you make me choose between the 2 of them, you know who I'm gonna pick. Although, I mean, both of them are somewhat similar in that they're both speedsters. I feel like Ruki is a little more well-rounded in that he has a bigger aura. His cast ability is a little more straightforward than Sir Gilman's, who has that strange cast or attack where he darts backwards across where he's already gone. He is faster than Ruki, so he has that going for him. I think, given the choice, gotta take Ruki. Alright, you land amid the splendors of Mount Elodium, at whose summit awaits the liberation rite. Thus begins our 3rd ascent to the Fall of Solium. My agents in the Commonwealth report our plan is proceeding. Let us strive again to liberate one of our own and raise its chances. Plan is at 48%, yeah? So it's getting up there. I mean, of course that's still lower than 50, which is a little discouraging, but seeing as how it started very low, I would think there's well, we've made a lot of improvement, and still, of course, room to grow further. Join Ruki on a pilgrimage to Solium Mirror. Okay? With some time to spare after having landed, you join Ruki on a brief expedition to the monument of Solium Mirror. Hey, scribes. Again, I need to I need to look back at how I've been doing people's voices. Ruki, for some reason, I cannot remember how I was doing Ruki's voice. Hey, scribes. It's your pal and ever loyal servant, Ruki Greentail here. Just stopping by to say hello is all. Definitely not what it was. If you're feeling generous, just, thought I'd let you know I'd sure like to get on out of here this time, okay? So, let me out, okay? I know you want. It's definitely not what it was. I'll search, through our previous go-rounds and brush up on how we've been doing people's voices so that I can be a little more consistent going forward. But anyways, soon, you and he are finished paying your respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Solium Muir had shown you favor. You shall soon begin your ascent, though there is time as yet to pursue your vocation. Solanur is the demon of the scribes, 8th of the 8 scribes of the Book of Rites, known as the First Exile, or the last of his name. A once proud emperor who neglected his nation and found pettiness in the downside. Alright, so we have time to pursue our vocations, and Ruki gets +2 hope. So we can talk to some friends. Let's maybe do that first, and then we'll pursue our vocations. And it is Ruki. All the more reason to have remembered his voice. You find Ruki having just put back his green-tailed family portrait. There's something of a wistful look in his eyes. Then, something comes over him, and he moves in close, lowering his voice. Look, chump. Gotta level with you about something here real quick. Truth is, I haven't been entirely upfront with you about my family situation. He hesitates a while, then... We ain't exactly quite as rich as I've been letting on. I mean, we do just fine, and we got lots of money stored away, it's just mostly locked up in savings bonds. He seems to catch himself in the middle of another tall tale and relents before you can respond, one way or another. Situation is, my mom back on the other side, she needs a little bit of help, financially and otherwise. All she's got now are my knuckle-headed uncles to keep her steady. I always told her I'd make something of myself, you know? I was just a clerk in her shop. Things started getting tough for us, so I started looking for all kinds of different work. Got in with some unseemly sorts, I guess, but pay was real good. We took to shipping certain types of stuff down here, of all places. Flushing it straight down the river, watertight. Kay was right. Mom was so proud of me. We were eating real good, all the time. But you can probably guess what happened. I barely scraped by after they flushed me down here. Would have been food for a bunch of howlers had Jody not bailed me out. Would have been food for a bunch of howlers had Jody not bailed me out of a tough spot one fine evening. That explains how Jody became the protector of the group. That's how it all started, at least between her and Ruki. As for my mom, she doesn't know the half of it. My uncles told her I'm away on business. Not entirely untrue, I guess, but if she knew, it'd break her poor heart. So, I don't know how else to put this, chum, but I want to get out of here. Get back to what I was doing back home. On the straight and narrow, though. I'd go straight this time, sure. I just don't go telling everybody that a Ruki Greentail's just mama's boy, okay? I got a certain reputation to uphold. He quickly scampers out the door. His past has been weighing heavily on him, but you sense he was sincere about wishing to lead an honest life. Oh, Ruki. So we know he was a trafficker. Dealing with contraband for long enough can lead to making many strange acquaintances. And ultimately, got him down here. He was born on the 4th of 4th moon, suggesting he is active and outgoing. Yeah, that seems like what we've seen of him. Crime was smuggling. He was involved in an illegal operation shipping contraband to the downside. I mean, curious as to how exactly that worked, because, I mean, if you're sending stuff to the downside, how are you getting paid back? Because there aren't going to be people who are coming back to the Commonwealth to pay you, presumably. So that would have to be quite the operation. Alleged motive: self-gain. Records state he sought to undermine the social fabric of the Commonwealth. He barely made a living as a trader in the Commonwealth, trying to provide for an aging mother and several good-for-nothing uncles, until he found a much more lucrative clientele among those exiled to the downside. To them, he would ship various commodities. Just as things were looking up, he was finally caught and cast down the river. There, after Jodariel saved him from a pack of howlers, he promised to repay her. So he, in many ways, as we see here, sees himself as owing Jodariel a debt. And at the moment, they're separated. Jodariel has been freed, whereas Ruki has not. I mean, I guess you could argue that is, in some ways, repaying that debt. That he helped her regain her freedom. But anyways, let's see what we can do with our vocation. We want to... Well, so I think as of late we had been exploring a little more with regard to finding things of value. And we did manage to sell a few things and purchase those 2 talismans that we were talking a little bit about earlier. One of which we used to help Tizo successfully complete his scribe trial. But I'm not sure if there's as much of a need now that everyone except for Gertrude has completed their own scribe trial, so they have pretty powerful talismans to choose from, in addition to those 2 talismans that we bought. So I think those things in combination mean that we don't have as much of a need to purchase additional talismans. We don't have as much of a need for finding things of value, unless we happen to find another really good talisman, but I would think that's pretty unlikely. So I think that leads us to either giving small global bonuses to everyone on the team by studying in private, or specifically targeting one companion. I think we might want to go this route. As for who exactly we would like to choose, Tizo, has he technically gained this? He has. Okay, Sir Gilman would rank up. Ametha would not. I don't think anyone else. Well, Gertrude would. I mean, it would help Gertrude catch up a bit. I like the prospect of doing it with Sir Gilman, giving him the private tutoring session, because he is good. And could be getting one more ability here. Would be something that makes him a real staple of our team, especially seeing as how we're gonna potentially be losing a key contributor if we are successful with this upcoming liberation rite. So I think we pick him, on the assumption that he will not be one of the people who, or the person who gets liberated this time around, but if someone else does get liberated, that we're going to be relying on him more in the near future. So, this knight shall be your eager protege. You ask Sir Gilman to explain to you, in his own words, the histories of the 8 scribes, and speak to how their varied backgrounds formed the basis not just of the rites, but of the Commonwealth. And with that, he ranked up. This knight wonders at times about why we are here, and which forces have transpired to bring us here together. Has Under King Ors himself taken an interest in this noble quest? Right, so we can, for 10 seconds after banishing an adversary, allow Sir Gilman to deal an additional 10 damage to the adversary's Pyre. That does sound pretty good, especially given our playstyle, where it tends to be banish an enemy and then use someone speedy, zoom by for a quick score. Sir Gilman certainly fits that on that description on the speedy side. As I was describing earlier, his attack is a little unorthodox, so it may still be a little tricky to pull that one off. But our other options are, once per round, when saluting his adversaries, Sir Gilman freezes all exiles, for 3 seconds, including our own. That one I feel like is kind of strange, probably one that I will ultimately end up skipping. On this side, after Sir Gilman banishes an adversary, one of his banished allies shall instantly return. That seems really good. Both of these seem really good. This is a little more purely offensive, whereas this is a little more defensive. I think we go this route. Allows for a little more balanced approach. I'm just wondering if might it make sense to take this and then on the last round actually choose one of these two instead of going here. What do these look like? After using his slash, Sir Gilman can use it again to instantly return to his previous location. That does sound good as well. Sir Gilman's slash banishes adversaries in a wider area of effect. That might make it easier to use his slash, because, as I was saying, it's kind of tricky to pull it off. But either way, I think I like that one. This knight loves the Underking Oars, the best of all, of course. Alright. We found our calling, apparently. I'm guessing that probably has to do with pursuing vocations a certain number of times or something like that. But let's continue our journey. So we can either go the Temple High Road, Temple Cistern. So the first of two paths leading to the mountain summit, since Tizo shall gain favor from the scribes along this route. Or alternatively, we go this route, the second of the two paths leading to the mountain summit, since Bertrude shall gain favor from the scribes along this route. So, if we're thinking about this from the perspective of what happened last go-round, where we picked Rookie, and Rookie gained hope for this upcoming rite, bear in mind that's only really relevant if we are anticipating that we will use those people in the upcoming rite. And for Rookie, that's certainly the case. I mean, he may be even the person that we choose to try to liberate. At the very least, he will definitely be participating, I would assume. Bertrude, on the other hand, is someone who we haven't had a lot of opportunities to practice with her, to use her in rites, so I still feel like we have a lot of room to grow with using her and adapting to her playstyle, because it is different. She is on the slower side, which comes a little less naturally to me. Her attack is very large, and I'm not sure that I've always been able to make the most use of that. So, I'm not sure that we would end up using her in this liberation rite, in which case it wouldn't make a lot of sense to choose this option. And it's, honestly, it's somewhat of a similar story with Tizo, in that he is also very unique in the way that he plays, and that when he attacks, he explodes and then disappears, which can be problematic at times. So, I mean, granted, you could say, after having successfully completed his scribe trial, that we might be a little better off than we were with him before. We've kind of proven that we can still perform reasonably well with him, and we have now a talisman that helps him out more so than we had before. So I think, if anything, I would side with Tizo here. Still, certainly a chance that we would not end up using him in the upcoming rite, but it seems more likely than Bertrude, at the very least. While traversing the quiet solitude on the way to the summit, pass a monument to Jomir Manymane, and Tizo happens to take notice. So he is the Kerr scribe, if I remember. You can kind of see over there, or at least you could previously, his statue. I greet you all again. Oh, wait, what? Wait, what? Tizo is actually talking? Not making squeaking sounds? Have we ever seen this before? I greet you again, old friends, and you especially, great-grandfather. Thank you for watching over me, and all of us. I'm very confused. My friends could maybe use your help, if you would offer it to them, whether through me or any one of us. We shall honor your names in the rites to come. Soon, you and he are finished paying your respects. We're just not gonna talk about how Tizo was not squeaking and squawking? I mean, again, it's theoretically that's his thoughts, not his speech, so that, I suppose, explains it a bit, but it still seems very odd, very off-putting to be hearing directly from him in words and not strange noises. So as you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that Jomir Manymaid has shown you favor. Tizo gains +2 presence for the next rank. So, let's see, Ruki gained Hope, which is what increases, or I should say, accelerates how quickly he comes back after being banished, which I think is good for Ruki, because we play pretty aggressively with him, and whether that be trying to, well, yeah, I mean, if he scores, then he's going to be banished permanently until next person scores, so Hope doesn't really benefit him there, but probably in making dashes for the Pyre, he's going to get banished from the enemies every now and again too, so that seems helpful. Whereas presence is how large their aura is, which seems pretty helpful for Tizo, at least with regard to his implosion ability, since it allows us to potentially take out more opponents that way simultaneously. I think that's good. I believe we're now on our way here. The actual rite. You and your companions arrive again at the Scribe's Gate, or an archway carved in stone. Shall we, Vids? Minstrel leads you toward his counterpart. Seems unsurprised to see you all approach. I mean, we are technically guaranteed, at least, unless the new / old / whatever the other Nightwings want to call themselves tried to take our place. The exiles of the Nightwings. You again. Greetings, Celeste. We have returned. The stars shine darkly these past nights. Nothing more than important of your arrival, is it? Likely nothing more. Now, they are ready for you. Then come forth, each of you, in turn. Please state your name, what it is you seek whilst crossing the Scribe's Gate. Wait. You. She points to Bertrude. You are new amongst this group. You shall go first. Please, do as she asks, Bertrude, now. We are known throughout the downside as Big Bertrude. We follow Sandal, our fawn. He led us into exile, and he shall lead us out. The Gate Guardian acknowledges her and motions for the rest of you to proceed. Everyone does so, as before, including you. Once you all have declared yourselves, she regards you all for another moment and beckons you toward the mountain's top. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Thank you, Celeste. Until the summit, Greek. On we go. Alright, and I think this is probably a good place for us to stop here. We managed to complete Tizo's Scribe Trial, which is something that was looming over me for a little while. I was thinking, when are we finally going to finish that? And we were successful, actually, fairly comfortably, surprisingly. We got a few buffs to improve our chances of victory in this upcoming rite, and I'm still not sure what to expect here. I mean, technically we are supposed to go up against the Chastity, I think, and there was that talk of Manly potentially knowing a little bit about our plan and trying to foil it, so we might see a little bit more of that coming to pass this go round, if in fact he has dug up a little more information on us in the meantime. Or alternatively, I am still suspicious that Oralek may be looking to make a reappearance quite soon. So we'll see if we get any surprise visits from him. But either way, that's going to be it for this go round. I'll see you in the next one.